Today on Rappler, former President Arroyo asks the Supreme Court to stop her plunder trial.
The United States is going to take a uniform position, but this goes back to the position of how you treat China. I think you have to treat them with respect.
I know China. I know what they have. I know what their military has. And say we will not let them bully us.
Democrats and Republicans debate in Manila. And Manila Archbishop Luis Tagle is the country's new Cardinal. Hello, I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. Former President Gloria Arroyo asks the Supreme Court to stop her plunder trial before the Sandigan Bayan. She also asks the court to dismiss the plunder charges filed by the Ombudsman. In a petition Wednesday, Arroyo's lawyers say the Sandigan Bayan, quote, acted in haste when it declared there was probable cause to charge Arroyo with plunder. The petition describes the case as, quote, defective, saying it lacks evidence of plunder, proof that Arroyo personally amassed 50 million pesos or more from charity funds. Arroyo will be arraigned on October 29. The Ombudsman dismisses plunder and graft complaints against Arroyo and 10 others for alleged misuse of the Overseas Workers Welfare Administration funds. The Ombudsman rejects a Justice Department recommendation that calls for the filing of technical malversation complaints. The case involves more than 530 million pesos worth of OWA funds allegedly used in the 2004 elections. Arroyo ran for president in that election. The U.S. Embassy in Manila organizes a debate between speakers for the Democratic and Republican parties. Where do the candidates stand on issues that affect the Philippines? Carlos Santamaria reports.
How will the outcome of the U.S. presidential election affect the Philippines? Around 4 million Filipinos live in the U.S., and both Democratic incumbent President Barack Obama and Republican candidate Governor Mitt Romney are courting the Phil-Am vote.
The Filipinos are the second largest Asian American group in the United States. So that is tremendous potential influence on our democracy.
A flashpoint issue for U.S. residents voting from the Philippines. What will the next American president do about business process outsourcing? Obama says he wants to stop jobs going overseas, but Romney argues outsourcing is essential to business.
And Mr. Romney has done a lot of the outsourcing there, and he has stated publicly he's in favor of doing that. We make money on that. We employ other people because in order to do it right, you have to have a big source in country and out of country. How many Americans do we have here that are operating in the call centers? A very large number of them.
Another issue is the peace process in Mindanao, which both political parties support.
President Obama is very much supportive of efforts here to help find peace. The U.S. has stepped up military coordination and activities. I think in the future they would continue to do so.
Filipinos also want to know, how will the next U.S. president handle China and its territorial claims in the South China Sea? Republicans vow to be tough and not let the Chinese bully the Philippines and other countries.
I know China. I know what they have. I know what their military has. They're formidable. They are something, and they're not going to sit back and wait. We have to have, in this part of the world, unanimity among the countries there that say we will not let them bully us. We must control what belongs to us, and we've got to be prepared to put up the flag there and say we'll do something about it. And I think the U.S. government will be behind the Philippines and 100% in all of those areas.
Democrats are more cautious, but promise they will stand by Manila.
The United States is going to take a uniform position, but this goes back to the position of how you treat China. I think you have to treat them with respect. You have to give them time to get their new government in place. And you don't want to unnecessarily upset them. The United States would stand with the Philippines and work to find a peaceful solution.
The debate ends with no clear winner in a contest between a more eloquent supporter of Obama and a veteran Asia expert backing Romney. Whatever the outcome of the U.S. election, Democrats and Republicans insist the next president will be a friend of the Philippines. Carlos Santamaria, Rappler, Manila.
Commission on Elections Chairman Sixto Brillantes Jr. apologizes to Senator Panfilo Laxon for his absence from a Senate hearing on the disqualification of partyless groups. On his Twitter account, Brillantes says, quote, "If Senator Laxon perceived my non-appearance as arrogance, I humbly apologize, but that was never my intention." Laxon calls the COMELEC chair arrogant after Brillantes said the Senate has no business in the poll body's decisions over the disqualification of partyless groups for the 2013 polls. The commissioners were absent at the Tuesday hearing of the Senate Committee on Electoral Reforms and People's Participation. The Philippines has a new cardinal. Pope Benedict XVI announces the appointment of Manila Archbishop Luis Antonio Tagle as one of 6 new cardinals. The formal announcement will be made on November 24th. This means Tagle will become the Pope's special advisor and assistant and will have the right to vote for a new pope in case the current one dies or resigns. Businessman and sports advocate Manny V. Pangilinan ends speculations he would run for president of the Philippine Olympic Committee. In a statement, Pangilinan announces his decision with, quote, "a heavy heart." He believes now is not the right time to, quote, "join the POC in an executive capacity." Pangilinan also apologizes to his supporters. He says, quote, "I know I will disappoint many of you with this decision, and for this, I'm really sorry." He adds, "I'm not turning my back at all on Philippine sports, that I remain committed to supporting it." The head of the BBC defends its response to allegations of sex abuse by late TV star Jimmy Savile, but admits its reputation took a hit. BBC Director General George Entwistle says the BBC regrets dropping an internal investigation into allegations of abuse of underage girls by Savile, but he denies the probe was stopped because of pressure from BBC top brass. On Monday, Prime Minister David Cameron accuses the BBC of, quote, "changing its story over the sex abuse claims." Entwistle says the organization is working closely with the police. The BBC director says twin internal probes will thoroughly investigate what happened. Well, let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 4, Apple introduces its iPad mini, a 7.9-inch version of the popular iPad tablet. The iPad mini starts at $329 and will be available on November 2 in 34 countries, which does not include the Philippines. Apple also updates the 9.7-inch iPad, adding LTE support and giving it the same Lightning connector that it introduced in the iPhone 5. Apple also introduces a 13-inch MacBook Pro with Retina display and an ultra-slim iMac with a monitor that's only 5 millimeters thick. At number 7, Saudi Aramco, the world's most valuable oil company, is the victim of a virus attack, quote, regarded as one of the most destructive acts of computer sabotage on a company to date. The attack happened on the one day in a year that over 55,000 of its employees stayed home for a holiday. Investigators say someone with privileged access to its computers released a virus into its computer system. The virus erased data on 3/4 of Aramco's corporate PCs and replaced all of it with, quote, an image of a burning American flag. U.S. intelligence officials say the cyber attack was initiated by Iran to retaliate for Stuxnet. That was when the United States and Israel unleashed a computer virus to cripple an Iranian nuclear facility in 2010. And at number 8, it's a horrifying video of a sudden and devastating attack. Syrian artillery gunners shell a bakery full of workers and customers waiting to buy bread in rebel stronghold Aleppo. In the video, screaming men try to get the body of a child into a taxi while mangled bodies litter the bakery. The video spread on social media. At least 20 people were killed. Last August, Human Rights Watch reported 10 bakeries were bombed in Aleppo province alone. The World Food Program says about 1.5 million people will need help with food in the next few months. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. UN leader Ban Ki-moon says he's no longer the world's most famous South Korean as he comes to face with Gangnam-style rap phenomenon Psy. Ban says he felt overshadowed by his countryman Psy, who showed off some of the wacky dance moves.
So now you have first and second famous Korean in the statement.
I'm a bit jealous. Until a few days ago, somebody told me that I'm the most famous Korean in the world. Now I have to relinquish that title to you. But I have no regret.
Ban also met with Austrian skydiver Felix Baumgartner. The UN leader calls Baumgartner, quote, the most courageous person in the world for his space jump in October 14 when he fell to the Earth faster than the speed of sound. Let's look at Rappler's Mood Navigator. Every story has a mood meter, which has 8 emotions for you to choose from. Click on how you feel, and your vote will come down and be pulled together by Rappler's Mood Navigator in the middle of the front page. If we take a look at today's Mood Navigator, we have 10 stories that show you what people have been looking at. Yesterday's story, Philippine drops in doing business rating, 61% angry, 30% sad. Today's story, Arroyo asked the Supreme Court to stop plunder trial against her, 79% angry, 13% annoyed. And the story that's gotten the most number of votes, Casino hits back at Pinoy over survey comment. It looks like it has gotten enough votes to actually take over the mood meter. The Mood Navigator, 53% don't care, contributing to the mood of the day. Today, most people don't care. Well, that's Rappler's Newscast for today, Wednesday, October 24th, 2012. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Maria Ressa. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.